Is that on?
Oh, there it is.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the show. This is my guest, Tanya. Is it Austin? Is that your last name?
I'm Schmitz, but yeah, family last name is Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But you go by Tanya because I know your middle name is Lynn, right? So which do you prefer?
Tanya.
Tanya. Okay, I was saying Tanya. Sorry about that. So now you're a business owner, right?
I am. I'm helping manage the Main Street Barber Shop right over here around the corner from here.
Oh, right. So when did this come about?
This is going on year 3, so it's fun. It's definitely challenging being self-employed.
Yeah.
And, in that tax bracket.
So why a barber shop as opposed to, say, a hairdresser?
Well, when I took my training in cosmetology and aesthetics and stuff, I don't know, I just kind of had a little bit more of a passion and creativity for the fellas that were coming in, right? Because it kind of, lacks some things out there. Women, they get the whole nines provided to them, and that guy walks into the salon and he's so awkward, right? So,
It's interesting because when I was a child, we were very poor. So my mother took us to the barber. We never went to a hairdresser, and the first time I went to a hairdresser, I didn't know how to behave.
Yeah, and they, high and tight, a lot of those old time barbers, right?
Yeah. Well, they did this to the girls, when you're younger, it's like just cut it all around here and may as well put a bowl over your head, right?
I was gonna say a Tupperware bowl, right? I used to laugh about that to people. We want small, medium, or large bowls.
So did you have another job before you got into the barbershop?
Yeah, I worked at other salons and bartended a lot as well. I worked in that industry, and my recent job was Tommy Guns. So that really kind of gave me the opportunities and to advance more within the men's grooming department. Right?
Well, what's Tommy Guns?
Tommy Guns is a barber shop. It's franchise, kind of, owned over here in Eagle Landing in Chilliwack. So it's quite famous with the fellas, right? Okay. They go in and get a haircut. And it goes. Yeah. No, it was a great opportunity for me. So that really sparked it. So what inspired me, I imagine.
So as a female barber, what kind of reception do you get?
From the older clientele, it's a little bit, it can be negative, but it's all learning experience because they, come from a different timeline, right? Where now it's a bit more accepting within, good society, community standards and stuff. But every now and again I get a fella that's like, oh, I've never had a female.
So he's probably pleased at the end.
I'm like, ooh, now it's my chance, right?
Yes, and afterwards he's like, oh, I'm glad I had a female barber.
So and that's my opportunity, right? To get to know the community more.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah. So what part of Chilliwack do you live in?
I live in Sardis.
Okay.
Yeah, and and I just commute here, but got family all the way around.
Do you?
Nations. So, every village around Chilliwack is.
Cousin. That's nice. Yeah. Well, I was talking. I'm friends with Gerald Charlie, and he happened to post something about you being the opening barbershop. It's like, oh, what a great opportunity.
Yeah, they're great. Like I'm married to a community member in Scowlitz. So he's related to Gerald. So Uncle Gerald, by nature, and they're a great support community with the First Nations. Around great support.
I'm learning that. I'm learning that from Lillooet. I spoke to an elder from Lillooet after they lost all their homes and how they came together like now, right? As they're rebuilding and whatever, and he said they're so supportive of each other. And I think, we of the European descent have lost a lot of that, I think. Right.
Well, it's not about lost, it's just kind of
we're brought up differently.
Yeah.
So. And it's unfortunate, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very connected with my brothers.
It's about kindness, right? So they're building that reconciliation with each client. That way is important for me as a little business owner. Yeah. Educating the community around about my roots and my heritage and the issues and the happinesses of the First Nations people. It's fun.
I think we have talked to a number of First Nations people on that, and my thing is that if you listen to somebody learn about their culture, you tend to have more respect because now you have an understanding.
You have an understanding, and we all can, we all come from a root, right? So
yes, absolutely.
It's that kindness, it's that empathy, passion for it, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
But-
that's kind of a little bit, that's a little bit lost these days.
Yes.
The agreeing to disagree kind of part where we're learning from each other instead of squabbling.
Yeah.
Better.
I'm drawing, my eyes are drawn to your
My
tattoos, yeah,
Mhm.
so I know they have significance, right?
Yeah, they do have, they have spiritual and cultural significance to me, so, my connection to the valley here, as a cultural person, it's, accepted by the people around here, so that's the black lines that you see,
Okay.
representation to the spirit.
Oh.
And then the red that you see represents my family bloodlines up north. I'm originally from New Hazelton, so.
Oh,
Mhm.
that makes
Mhm.
sense, because I've watched some of those shows, I can't remember if it's Living in Alaska or those,
Yeah.
and they have that.
Yeah,
those
and a lot of
tattoos.
it's starting to come back,
Okay.
those traditional, those old ways and stuff, right? The matriarch versus
Yeah.
imprints that we're trying to plug into.
Well, I was just listening to a friend of mine who posted something about what the Indian Act did to what the females.
Yeah.
How they
yeah.
took that society, the matriarchal society away from them, right?
Yeah, it's a dark history when
Yes.
you think of, when you kind of read those things in depth, right? And group those little comes together, and it does it. Yeah, it triggers limited beliefs
Yes.
within people where they, it's hard to understand that these things did happen to First Nations women, and not very long ago either.
I know, I'm reading stuff all the time, and it's, and I've had my friend Eugene Victor on here, Victor talking about being part of 60 Scoop, and my intent is always to get people like, just listen,
Yeah.
just listen and learn, yeah,
And we all have a story.
yes,
Right, and each story is a piece of the truth, right? So even if we're, first, second, third generation, we all still we're affected by that in some way, shape, or form. Even myself as a half breed, I'm half First Nations, and my dad is part English and part Scottish.
okay,
So yeah, right. That was it. That was another part of it too. That balance of living within those worlds at a time where you didn't know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So as you get a little older, you understand things.
for sure, but you must have grown up wondering where you fit in.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it was a struggle, right? So I do have a personal story, right? That connects me to the residential school timeline and things like that.
Okay.
But it's a source of empowerment.
Yeah.
So to speak, right? I don't use it to invoke any sort of sadness or pity, anything like that. Right?
Yeah,
That's my
yes,
aspiration when it comes to talking with any of the elders or even the youth, because these things are important for them to remember and to be taught about.
yes, absolutely. It's interesting you talk about the residential schools, because I was talking to one of my sisters, like, we always heard about it growing up, but we didn't know details, because that was not put out there, certainly not by the government, because it was, everything was hidden all the time, and the church didn't want to. Sorry, don't get me started on the church.
Yeah, I know it gets pretty touchy, right? So it's just kind of learning about it and setting the emotion aside so that you can learn critically about it, because it's pretty sad. My dad, when he was a young man, he didn't understand when I talked to him about the residential school experience, right? And my stepmom, or not, and my mom, but my stepmom, they didn't understand. My dad went to a Catholic school in Saskatchewan, and he said, I didn't, this stuff didn't happen in Kenya. I don't understand. So I had to really essentially take that topic out, as the birds and bees kind of thing, but the uncomfortable topic of color came up between me and my dad, right? So I was able to understand that too, that it's tragic.
Yeah, darn right, it was tragic, and the fact that even now stuff is still hitting this. And my friend Eugene, I was telling you, he was talking to somebody he met at Walmart, and a white guy, and the white guy said he doesn't believe that all of those bodies are real, and it's like. You can, this is something, and I keep saying this is something you can go and check out for yourself. Like, just take some time to learn the truth.
It's really hard to, the limited belief systems
Yes.
within each person. It's touchy, right? So
Yeah, it's touchy.
I've come across some people that I just didn't want to engage
Yeah.
natively within it because it's not. Yeah.
For me, I want to learn it. I want to hear it. I want to learn it. I know it's tragic,
Yeah.
but if you wanted to talk about it, you know, or my friend wanted to talk about it, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because it again, it helps me understand what he went through.
Yeah, and it helps I believe it, it helps with the reconciliation movement itself, is being able to connect individually to everybody about what happened, right? Regardless if they don't understand or don't really want to listen, right? It's the point is we're still here.
Yes.
After all of that, we're still here. And we're,
Yeah. And one of the things somebody said to me is like, okay, you imagine how hard it is for somebody to hear it, but think about the person having gone through it.
There's
right?
My mom's passed away, and she passed away at a young age.
Oh,
she was First Nations.
Right.
And the little bits and story that I got from her, her truth, I guess, wasn't very good, right? So was it kind of a direct impact of that, being the 60s scoop going on at that time. Going right into residential schools and stuff like that. It really was. It was scary, right? So I can imagine, if she's not here, but the pain that the suffering that makes a person do what they do, like, from the trauma they've experienced. So that was a big healing moment for me to kind of understand my own mother's human condition,
right?
As to understand why I am going through similar things that she went through, right? So really do some self-healing when it came to the impact of 217. Right? It was a big deal. When they first discovered on our website, because we all I think we all collectively eureka, right?
Yes,
finally now we can be able to let them know, right? These things that we've all been holding on to for years, right? That we just couldn't share.
Yes, that's a hard thing. I have an auntie who was First Nation. She just passed away this summer, and we've gone down to New Brunswick, where she was just across the border in Quebec. And I was hoping to ask her questions because I don't know a lot about her childhood, but she died the morning I got there, and I think, why didn't I think of asking her sooner? But I didn't, for whatever reason. But here's another thing that I don't know if people can understand, or maybe people like white European like me, we always felt special because we had an auntie who was First Nations. That we thought we were special.
Yeah, and you guys were. It was a blessing to have this feeling.
And for me especially, she always remembered me, and I'm one of the younger ones, so most of the ones would remember the older kids. So every time we saw her, is that Nancy? It's like, oh my God.
Aunties are very special within all of our, it's kind of a running joke.
Is that right?
So that's great though, and there's probably a lot of good stories you still can hold on to about her.
Yes, absolutely.
Smile, so those things help.
Yeah. I have a picture, my Facebook page pictures with her and her daughter, my cousin, and some of my sisters, and it's like, I hold on to that so strongly, Again, it just so happened that she passed away before I had a chance, but to speak with her, but about her childhood things.
And it brings you to another kind of a source of compassion within yourself when you're walking down the road and you do see one of the First Nations people.
But I don't recognize First Nation people unless like I see that. Well, I knew you were, but I probably would have because you've got the tattoos and the earrings. But I'm still my friend. How do you recognize some of these First Nations just by looking at them? It's not the color of the skin because other people have that skin color.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how you do that, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, I think we just recognize each other within our own.
Oh, for sure,
so-
yeah.
But yeah, it's, there's there's characteristics.
Okay.
There is a very important trait.
Right.
We're obviously our PDG.
Yeah, for sure. Well, but yeah, that makes it,
To stand out, you
yeah,
know.
that makes it a little bit, for me, a little bit easier to recognize.
Mm.
Not that it matters. I mean, it really, you know, it doesn't matter, but I wonder how somebody could say, oh, I know their First Nation. How? Tell me, you are
Mhm.
looking at them, you know, how do you know that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and there we come in all different blends and
Yeah.
stuff too, but you know, when you do see them on, you know, see them struggling on the street, and that's a big thing
Yeah.
that I do within my own days in my life is to try to go out and connect with the vulnerable and the homeless and the addicted, and especially the First Nations youth and vulnerable in the streets, right? To just kind of let them know, you know,
You're still there for
you're
them.
still, yeah, I can still see you.
Yeah. I used to meet this gent, First Nations gent, named Reg, on the streets. I haven't seen him for ages, and I keep thinking, oh, did he pass away? But he was an alcoholic, you know. But he always wanted to give me hugs, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. I
I
love
think
that.
I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Reg Williams.
I don't know his last
Did he
name.
have a scooter?
He would I only ever saw him walking.
I'm not sure, but there was a face that came to mind, so
Oh, okay. So it'd be nice to know if he's still around, and you know.
I'm sure.
Oh, okay, because I used to do my show originally on Shaw TV, and cable 4, and he used to watch it. So that's how he knew me, you know.
Okay.
So he always greeted me whenever he saw me, right? Going to the store or something. I love that. That
Yeah.
made me feel cool.
Yeah, they're special.
Yeah,
Elders
yeah.
are really special.
Well, I'm learning that, you know, and it's pretty good. But you know, on the other hand, I think Indigenous people are special. Like that's my
Like
thought.
Uncle Gerald, he's super special.
Hey, Gerald. He's been on the show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him back, but I want to go. I've never been on a reserve, so I know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, except I have been on my aunt's reserve, but I've never been on the reserve here, and I'm trying to get him to let me come to the reserve.
Tour.
He says maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to learn.
It's I mean, the communities are beautiful, you know,
Yeah.
regardless of what, you know, when you go on, you know, there's a lot of bias judgments of, oh, you know. But
Yes.
when you take that all away, you really do see the beauty in the thriving culture and the love and the, you know, the community, the sense of community within just the small village. And so I like that too.
I made a mistake. I have been on the one in Hope
Okay.
because I interviewed Melody Andrews, and I'm going back to interview her
Oh,
again.
yeah, yeah.
So I've been there. So
Thoughts, yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
well, I think it's great, you know, that I get to do. I
Mhm.
get to do this. For me, this is like magic
Yeah.
that I get to talk to you right here in person.
No,
and,
it's
you know.
actually quite cool. Yeah, I was like, wow, this is exciting.
It's exciting for me
Ooh.
too. You know? I love this. It's
Mhm.
just so wonderful because I get to, you know, I look at your tattoos, and
Yeah.
I'm curious about everything that I see.
Yeah, I enjoy being different
Mhm.
and being myself more so,
Yeah.
right? You know, I when I first started my journey into inking up my body, my dad would say, Tanya, no, oh, don't do that. What if you go to jail? And I'm like, oh my God. But I've always been creative, so
Yeah.
every tattoo I have it represents something within my life that happened.
Oh,
right? And I'm also just kind of an amateur tattoo artist myself.
You are?
So, yeah,
Oh,
as well
that's
as
cool.
a barber, an esthetician, you know.
Okay,
I can
what
make it, I
else?
could still make a mean Caesar, right? Old habits die hard. I was
Right.
a bartender for years too. so.
Yeah. Well, so what about painting or beading and all of those things?
I enjoy sewing a
Mhm.
lot more. I mean, I can bead, but yeah, I still have to work on the patience.
It is a- I can only imagine.
Yeah, so, and I have all of the jewelry that you do see, like, it's all handmade and stuff from community
Oh, nice.
members around Chilliwack in this area, right? So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
every
so
now and
nice.
again, I'll be fancy dancy and put some gold on, but you know, I enjoy wearing.
Very cool. Yeah, that is beautiful. Can you
Mhm.
hold it up? That's beautiful. I love
This
this
was
stuff.
a gift from one of our family members from Squaw First Nation. So,
Oh, very nice.
my daughter and I and that family member in particular are Frog Clan.
Okay.
And that's from up north. That's
Yeah.
this part of the self-governing system that a lot of people up there run within clan systems.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. Tell me more. I want to know more.
I'm not too. I haven't. I mean, kind of. You know, I moved to Chilliwack when I was 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
So kind of a little bit of a displacement there after, you know, everything that my mom passing away. I really didn't get a chance to learn a whole lot about the clan system and the feast system that goes on up north, but it's always lots of opportunities to learn.
Yeah.
So when I get a chance to, I go and I try to go and witness it and understand it and, you know, listen to what's going on. A lot of it just helps with because it's a matriarchal society
Right.
as well up there. So a lot of it just helps to differentiate families and they conduct the business and whatnot according to the clan systems.
Okay.
So yeah, but down here, growing up down here in the Fraser Valley, I was, you know, I learned more about the culture and the traditional ways of the solid people here. So yeah, that's a little bit too of that colonization process
Yes.
that happened, right? Where
Yeah.
everything was kind of blown apart back in, you know, those timelines that happened,
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
I know that there's some, I'm not sure how to word it, but about decolonizing,
Mhm.
you know, teaching I met somebody that they have to sign that teach your daughters to decolonize.
Yeah, and I think decolonize has it just has many branches to that word in itself, right? The words have power. So
Yes.
decolonizing, I think, is just unlearning everything to learn again the you know, the traditional ways of your people.
Yeah.
Of, you know, kind of going back into your roots and stuff. Decolonizing for everybody, really. Right?
Yes,
Not
absolutely.
just First Nations, where we kind of say it as, you know,
Yeah.
we put it out there to hashtag this kind of for the whole collective in general to
Yeah.
really kind of.
Yeah, we're not, yeah, that happens like the ancestors, my ancestors came here such a long time ago. And you know, I don't want to be carrying what they brought.
Yeah,
You know?
and that too is a decolonizing process in
Yes.
itself, is thinking about what your ancestors went through as they were migrating to this country to find a new way.
Yeah.
And obviously not finding the proper healing path, I suppose, as to what was going on, and then bringing all of that kind of stuff over. It just kind of mixed it all up a little, right? As you think, I've sat and reflected on that topic for so many days.
Yeah.
Right? About, not only my First Nations ancestors, but my white ancestry, my European ancestry, and thinking about the struggles that they all fought within themselves and each other.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just thankful to be here.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's all good, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
it will be, or hopefully,
Mhm.
hopefully everybody will start healing in a really
That's
good way.
And really,
right?
and I think that will, you know, that's always having hope.
Yeah.
Always, you know, being kind, having faith. Having a faith in something higher than yourself is
Right.
great. It's a big deal when you need to live, right?
Right, absolutely. Well, we're gonna end it there. I just want you to remind everybody the name of the barber shop and where it's located and your hours.
Okay, I'm over at 9226 Main Street, just around the corner here in Spadina. And I'm open from 12 noon till about 6 p.m. roughly, 6 days a week.
And the name of the,
Is me. My business, you can find me on Facebook, through Essential Wellness in the search bar, and through my Google page, which is, you know, Essential Wellness /Chilliwack within the search bar. And then you can book times, you know, check everything out through there.
great, thank you. Thank you so much for being
Thanks,
here.
Nancy, for having me.
Sure. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and take care, be nice, and peace out. All right, now we're gonna find the off button, because that's in the way.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.